Hello, welcome. We're doing some vlogging style stuff today. I need to reorganize all of my bookshelves. I've gotten quite a few, that's an understatement, quite a few books in the past year, and it's been a little over a year since I reorganized my bookshelves, and basically since I've been getting books this past year, I've just been sticking all the books onto this spinning shelf and they're not organized in any way at all. And then also my husband crafted me this book advent calendar. All of the books are up here for Christmas, but I have no space to put these books at the moment. So I'm hoping to reorganize my shelves and hopefully make some more space for the books. I typically organize my books by like subgenre and vibes. So I have, all my fantasy books together, but I have way too many fantasy books. So then I organize them by subgenre as well. So I have like all of my dark academia fantasy goes together, and all of my retelling stuff goes together, and all of my mythology stuff goes together. But since I've been just putting all my new stuff on the spinning bookshelf, literally all of these are missing some of the books that I have that fall into the different subgenres and vibes and categories, and I just don't know where anything is at the moment, so I definitely need to reorganize. And then I also have another bookshelf. I have this, and then this. These are 2 layers deep also, so there's like books behind this. But I also have a bookshelf in my bedroom that are more like books that my husband and I both read. That's kind of like our communal bookshelf, and then all of this stuff is just my books. But there's some stuff on that bookshelf that needs to come in here, and some stuff in here, especially from the advent calendar, that needs to go in there if I can make room in there. So hopefully I'll be able to make room in there and clear up some space so I can move some of this stuff in there and have a little bit more space in here for the books that I get this year. I'm hoping to make as much space as possible. So I'm just bringing you along with me. I always like watching people reorganize their bookshelves, so I figured I might as well share my process as well. I'll probably check in every once in a while. I'm going to be playing vinyls. I do have a pretty decent vinyl collection, so that's what I'm going to be doing so that I can use my phone to record the time lapse and everything. But I'll probably check in every time I pick a new vinyl, so you can have a little bit of like a clock kind of thing, so you can see how long it's taking me to do this. But other than that, I'll pop in pretty infrequently, and you can just chill and watch me reorganize if you're down, and listen to some chill music. Let's get to it, I guess. Alright, before we get started, here's the lovely little vinyl collection that will be my background music for the day. I think there's no other way I can do this than starting with Miss Chaperone, so I'll put this on and we'll see how far I can get before I have to switch this out. My vinyl just finished, and this is where we're at. I have everything sorted into stacks, and now I need to figure out more in-depth organization, what I want to do with the series and stuff. And then this whole stack is hopefully going to a different area, so I'm gonna not worry about those for right now. Okay, I did manage to fit the whole stack in the bedroom bookshelf, which is great. Next up, as far as vinyls, I think I'm just gonna keep going down, and I'm gonna do a Remy Wolf next. Also, I forgot to mention another reason that I'm doing this is because my sister got me a book embosser for Christmas, so I'm going to be embossing a lot of my books while I'm reshelving them as well. But yeah, we'll see how long the reshelving process takes. Running off is done, and I finished this 3 cubes. This one is like literary and historical fiction transitioning into horror, and then that transitions barely into my like academia fantasy over there. So then we're gonna get into the big fantasy for the rest of the cubes probably. Next vinyl, since I'm just going down, is Sabrina Carpenter. Yes, I do have 2 of them because when we bought them, we bought an exclusive version and they sent us a different version. So now we just have 2, but that is Okay, so Sabrina Carpenter's done, and I've done this shelf, and this shelf. This one is like lower stakes fantasy, and then these 2 are just kind of vibes. I don't really know what the vibes were, but they're all just like general fantasy, so they kind of all just got shoved into the 2 shelves. And then I have a couple in there that are also just like general fantasy, and then we're gonna get into sci-fi in there. I think I'm gonna try and fit all my retellings in this last cube, and then I'm gonna try and put all of my romance and romantasy in this cube here. So we'll see how it goes. And next up on the music docket, we have Luna. Done. I did manage to do both of these cubes and then put all of these up here, and also did this, but I did end up having to change this over here. I did end up doing like sci-fi and dystopian here, but then I forgot this cube. It has all my like cords and stuff that are for my wall behind it, so I can only do 1 row. So I ended up doing just romance and then a couple of the retellings that wouldn't fit on the vinyl shelf, and then the vinyl shelf has pretty much all my retellings, and then the romantasy behind this, and then the rest of my retellings are up here. So now I'm just putting all my completed series onto the spinning shelf, and hopefully it takes up much less space than what I had on it before. And then for vinyls, just going down the list again, Moon was the last one. Next up is just Carly Rae Jepsen, like most of her discography. So I think I'm just going to skip to the end because The Loneliest and Loveliest Time are my 2 favorites. So I'm just going to listen to those 2. My bookshelves are all organized now. As you can see, I managed to free up like 3.5 of these spinning bookshelf spaces, which I'm definitely going to run out of pretty quickly, but I also think I'm going to be able to stack books up here now, because I used to stack books back there and like change them out every month, but I now have all of these here permanently, so I think I'll be able to stack books up there once I get more. And then there's always the floor, which is where a lot of my books end up living in between me organizing bookshelves and stuff. But even though I didn't manage to free up that much space, I hope you enjoyed organizing with me, and I'll see you again soon.